Let us start the session. In the previous class, we were discussing about digital transmission, digital transmission through band limited channels. Okay, we were discussing about the baseband channel, or in other words, how was the channel characteristic? Means the channel characteristic was low pass in nature, as shown in the figure. Over this type of channel, we are transmitting the symbols. We want to transmit the symbols. So that is the aim of the topic. So now let us do the same thing, but here an additional concept has been added. Yesterday, whatever we have discussed, the same thing will continue, but for a specific concept, we will employ the previously learned method. Okay. So what we want to transmit? We want to transmit PAM signals. So what is a PAM signal? Pulse amplitude modulated signal. Okay. What do you mean by this digital PAM? It's very simple. Very simple. In one or two lines, I will explain, because this is not this is not contained in this particular chapter. Explanation of PAM has not been included in this, but to have a continuity, I will explain. Pulse amplitude modulation. You are having a pulse. The amplitude of the pulse will be varied according to the messages, or according to the input symbols. The amplitude of the pulse would get varied. That is the meaning of pulse amplitude modulation. If you observe that type of amplitude modulated pulses, you are supposed to transmit. Remember, as a simple example, you are having a source which is going to generate 10 number of symbols. Each symbol is mapped to a particular amplitude. Say first symbol amplitude of 1 volt, second symbol amplitude 2 volts, so on and so forth. 10th symbol amplitude of 10 volts. Okay, so if you want to transmit symbol number 1, you have a pulse of amplitude 1 volts. If you want to transmit a 7th symbol, you have the pulse with amplitude 7 volts. That is the meaning of pulse amplitude modulation. Okay, so this type of data you are having, this data you want to transmit over the band limited baseband channel. Okay, so now what is the nature of the data? See, the source will emit symbols every t seconds. Remember, please hear carefully. The source is going to emit the symbols every t seconds. So therefore, if you consider a duration of time, okay, then there would be a generation of so many number of pulses, because you are not transmitting a single symbol, only one symbol. All many number of symbols the source is going to generate every t seconds. Each symbol would be converted into a pulse of corresponding amplitudes. So therefore, over a period of time, you are not having a single pulse, you are having a set of pulses. Okay, that you are supposed to understand. And every pulse will originate after a duration of t. Okay, or in other words, after a duration of some time capital T seconds, one pulse would get generated by the modulator or by the transmitter. This is how you are supposed to understand the pulse amplitude modulation. So I will repeat the pulse amplitude modulation again. See, you are having so many number of symbols. As an example, you are having 10 symbols. Symbol 1 mapped to amplitude 1 volt, symbol 2 mapped to amplitude 2 volts, so on and so forth. Suppose if you want to transmit symbol 1, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to generate a pulse of amplitude 1 volts. Suppose if you want to transmit symbol number 5, then what you are going to do? You transmit a pulse of, say, amplitude 5 volts. This is how you are having the pulse amplitude modulation, and the source will generate symbols every t seconds. So therefore, for every t seconds, you are having one pulse. Okay, so therefore, if you aggregate over the time, you are having more number of pulses. You are having a set of pulses. Okay. Now, that's what it has been written. The input binary data sequence is subdivided into k bit symbols, means you are working with symbols whose width is k. Okay, so k may be 3 bit, 4 bit, like that, 2 bit, 4 bit, 8 bit, 16 bit symbols would be there. So total number of symbols you can calculate, it is 2 power k symbols are possible. Then each symbol will be mapped to a corresponding amplitude level. What I have told, symbol 1 map to 1 volt, symbol 2 map to 2 volts. As an example, I am telling, that is the meaning. Each symbol is mapped to a corresponding amplitude level. Okay, that amplitude modulates the output of the transmitting filter. What does this mean? See here, you are having the just observe this block. Here you are having the symbols or the mapped voltages, means what you can say, 1 volt, 2 volts, like that. You are having the mapped symbols. So what does this transmit filter will do? This transmit filter is a pulse generator. I just carefully observe. This is a pulse generator. Depending upon the input symbol, the amplitude of the pulse is being varied by the filter. If the amplitude is A1, then the pulse amplitude would be A1. If the amplitude of the pulse is A2, then the amplitude of the symbol is A2, then the pulse amplitude would be A2. That is the explanation. I repeat it again. So whatever the input data is nothing but the symbols. So symbol is mapped to the amplitude. What does this transmitting filter will do? Transmitting filter will generate the pulse. The amplitude of the pulse depends upon the input data. That is what it is happening. So now the output of the transmitting filter is represented by V of t. Just observe over here. What is V of t? It is the output of the transmitting filter. So what is happening here? You are having so many number of symbols. Okay, so those symbols will enter the transmitting filter. So what does the transmitting filter will do? It will generate pulses. So if a symbol is inputted, so the transmit filter will generate a pulse of corresponding amplitude. That's what. So therefore, over a period of time, you are having so many pulses appearing at the output of the transmitting filter. So that is represented by this V of t. Over here, what is this V of t? It is the output of the transmitting filter. Okay. Transmitting filter. So what exactly it contains? It contains the pulse. Okay, the amplitude of the pulse depends upon the input symbol. So therefore, if you observe the equation here, you are having sigma. What does this sigma indicate? It indicates so many number of pulses. Okay, because the source won't generate one symbol and keep quiet. It is going on generating the symbols every t seconds. After every t second, it is going to generate one symbol. So therefore, we are using this sigma. Okay. So it may generate depending upon the time it is going to generate the symbols. So therefore, we have used the limits minus infinity to plus infinity. It keep on generating the symbols after every t seconds. Okay. So what is the pulse? What is the pulse? The pulse is represented by the function gt of t. Just carefully hear what I am telling. Gt of t is the pulse. The amplitude of the pulse is represented by an. A refers to amplitude, n refers to symbol number. You can, so first symbol means A1 is the amplitude. The pulse amplitude would be A1. Then what does this nt represents? It represents the time duration of every symbol. After what time one symbol is going to generate, that is represented by t. Not all the symbols will get generated at the same time. Each and every symbol will be generated after every t seconds. That is the meaning of this t minus nt. So what is this V of t? It is the transmitter output or transmitting filter output. What exactly the transmitting filter output contains? It contains a train of pulses. or a series of pulses. So the pulse is represented by gt of t. Each and every pulse is having an amplitude corresponding to the input symbol. Therefore, an into gt of t. The pulses won't get generated at the same time. After t second duration, at every t second duration, one pulse would get generated. That is the meaning of t minus nt. This is how you have to understand this particular equation. So now what are we? This is the basic pulse amplitude modulated signal, PAM signal. P refers to pulse, A refers to amplitude, M refers to modulation. So this is the pulse, and what is this? AN refers to amplitude. A particular symbol is having one amplitude. That is why this is called as pulse amplitude modulated signal. Okay, so now you know how exactly the pulse amplitude modulated signal got generated. Now this, remember, here we are not using any carrier. Cos 2 pi fct term is not there over here if you observe carefully. So this PAM signal is called as baseband signal. Okay, this is also called as baseband signal. So this PAM signal or the baseband signal is allowed to pass through the channel whose frequency response is C of f, or the impulse response is C of t. Just carefully observe the diagram. C of t. The channel output along with the noise would be the received signal. See what is happened? The data, whatever the symbols, entered through the transmitted filter. Later, whatever the data you are having, it was converted into pulses and has been transmitted over the channel. Remember, in the previous class, I have explained how to model the channel. A channel is modeled in the form of a filter. What type of filter it is being modeled? Currently, the channel is modeled as a low pass filter. So therefore, we have given a block for the channel and we have written the transfer character. Because it is a filter, it should have one impulse response or the transfer function or the frequency response that is given by C of f, or correspondingly in time domain it is C of t. So that is what. So along with the noise, the channel output would be the received signal. So let us stop our discussion over here and we will analyze the R of t. What is the equation for R of t? Remember, you are transmitting a train of pulses. So therefore, at the receiving end, you are supposed to receive a train of noise corrupted signals. That you are supposed to remember. Remember, you are not transmitting only one symbol, you are transmitting a series of symbols, or in other words, you are transmitting a series of pulses. Okay, so over a channel, band limited channel, which is channel, and also noise addition would be there or noise corruption would be there. So therefore, at the receiver, you are receiving a train of pulses which are corrupted by the noise. That you are supposed to understand. Okay, that next we will see. They have explained what is C. T is symbol duration, bit rate. Currently we will not bother about this. So when time comes, we will get into the what does T means, bit rate means, and other things. So we'll just continue our explanation. Now the previous block diagram which you are seeing, just what you are seeing, I am taking only that part of the block which starts from input data to R of t. I am not talking about what is happening at the receiver. I am considering the block diagram starting from the input side to the received signal. So that much part of the block diagram I have rewritten again. So for your understanding purpose, input data, to the input data, I am associating AN. AN means the, what does this represent? This represents the amplitudes of the pulses. So this is a representation so that you will understand. If you want to transmit symbol 1, what is the amplitude of the symbol 1, it is A1. That means that the transmit filter will generate a pulse of amplitude A1. That is the meaning. Okay. Okay. So we will just continue. Now R of t. So what is the R of t? It is the received signal or the signal at the demodulator or receiver input. Okay. Now, if you observe this block diagram, if you carefully observe this block diagram, one thing could be easily told. Whatever the input data we are having, just carefully observe this block diagram, go via block diagram approach. In normally, you might have done if you in the control systems, if you are having two blocks, you are reducing the two block into a single block. The same logic here also we will apply. If you observe the input data, okay, it is passing through transmit filter and the channel as per the block diagram. So what the author has thought was, let us cascade or combine the two blocks, that is the transmitter filter and channel filter into a single block, which is named as H of F. Normally, within the block diagram, we are having a practice to write the impulse response. But now there is another way of representing. Instead of writing the impulse response, they have written the frequency response, or in other words, the transfer function. Both are same. They are different way of expression. Okay. So this is how they are going to modify the diagram. See, remember, this is only for the mathematical simplification. So now, as per your signals and systems concept, two blocks are given with impulse response or frequency responses. Then what is the frequency response of the combined block, if you want to find out? Or in other words, you are having a block with impulse response as gt of t. You are having this block with impulse response as c of t. Okay, I hope you can understand. So what is the combined impulse response of the two blocks? Then that is given by the convolution. C of t into gt of t would be the impulse response of the combined block. Or in the frequency response, it is h of f. What does h of f equal to? Gt of f into c of f. In the time domain, if you want to express, h of t is equal to gt of t convolution with c of t. That's what you have to remember. That has been written. What is h of t? Here h of t has not been written. Remember, h of t you are supposed to understand. This block, the frequency response or the transfer function is h of f. So the impulse response would be h of t. It is, what does this represents? Cascade of the transmitting filter and the channel. Then what would be the h of t? Mathematically, if you recall the concepts of signals and systems, it is nothing but the convolution of the two impulse responses, that is c of t into gt of t. So now you can easily write the expression for r of t. So therefore r of t is equal to an means you are having the input data, an into, just analyze how this has been written. It has been written with a concept. Okay, so here you just consider only one pulse. So therefore what one can write? An into h of t. An into h of t. Okay, that you will write. But you are working with so many number of pulses. Therefore you use the summation, which ranges from minus infinity to plus infinity. You can't count the number of pulses which the filter is going to generate, or you cannot count the symbols which the source is going to generate. Okay, therefore I am using minus infinity to plus infinity. An is the amplitude, h of t. Okay, are you getting only one pulse? No, you are having so many number of pulses, each at a duration of t. Every t duration you are having one pulses, right? So therefore you are having t minus nt. The same explanation holds good. So here you are not working with a single data, you are working with a set of data or a train of data. So therefore, an into h of t minus nt has been written. Then if you write this is the output of the h of f. If you observe whatever I have told, this summation, this is the output of this cascaded block, or output of the this combined block h of f, this block. Okay, so now what is r of t? R of t is equal to sigma. I hope you can understand what would be the output over here, an into h of t minus nt plus noise. So this is how you are observing, you are analyzing the received signal. I hope you have got the analysis. So what we did, we took this much part of the block from the original one, starting from the input to the received signal. Over here you are having two blocks. These two blocks were cascaded and an equivalent block has been written, which has been named as h. H of f is the transfer function of the block and h of t is the impulse response of the block. So what is this block? It is nothing but cascade of transmitting and the filter and the channel. So therefore R of t is equal to the output of this block h of f, and the noise. So what would be the output over here? Here, just observe the mouse pointer. What would be the output of the cascaded block? The output of the cascaded block is given by this sigma an into h of t minus nt, because the signal, whatever input, it has to pass through this. So therefore h should be there. Sigma, you are having so many number of symbols, that is why you are having sigma. Whether you all symbols are being generated at the same time? No. Every t seconds you are having one symbols. That is by this t minus nt. And what is this n? This is the noise. The AWGN noise is the n of t. Okay. Now where are we? We are at the doorstep of the receiver. We are at the door of the receiver. So at the we will get into the receiver block diagram. So that's what it has been written. So now again we will come back to the original block diagram. So we are here, R of t. So whatever the received signal is the transmitted signal plus corrupted noise. So that would be passed through the receiving filter. And yesterday I have told this receiving filter contains matched filter. So here the receiver employs what type of filter you are having? You are having a matched filter. So whenever matched filter comes, obviously it should be followed by the sampler. Okay, then only you can get what has been transmitted. Okay, that we will see. Okay, so we are here, R of t. So we'll continue R of t. So now just observe, we are passing this R of t through a receiving filter with impulse response GR of t. You are supposed to read the impulse response. Impulse response is not being printed on the block. Only frequency response or transfer function would be written, but you have to read the impulse response. So what is the impulse response of the receiving filter? It is GR of t. So anybody can say the expression for y of t. So y of t is equal to R of t convolution with GR of t. Received signal convolved with the GR of t. So that has been written over here. So y of t, the filter output, which filter? Filter at the receiver is equal to R of t star G of t. Now R of t, just previously we have written the expression for R of t. Okay, the same thing would be written over here and simplification would be done. So during the simplification, this would be the step. Just observe sigma from minus in, just a simplification, minus infinity to plus infinity an h of t minus nt into gr of t. Okay, so now you are having two functions. One function is h of t and another function is gr of t. So let us have an simplification step wherein let us write h of t convolution with gr of t as x of t. Okay, so what we will do, what type of substitution we are going to do? H of t, you can observe convolution with gr of t, that let it be expressed as x of t. So therefore this term, just observe the h of t minus nt star gr of t. Okay, you are observing, right? Along with the sigma, the one which is present within the flower brackets, if I say properly, that would get converted to a term which looks like this. A sigma will remain same, an, instead of h convolution with gr, I am going to write as x. Okay, remember all these are for mathematical simplifications. So x has been written. Okay, x of t plus w of t. This much is over. Then what is x? All of us know what is x. H of t star g of t, correct? As per this, what is h of t? Again it has been written gt of t. This you can get from the previous thing. H of t is c of t star gt of t. The same thing has been written, c of t star gt of t into gr of t. Then n of t convolution with gr of t, it has been represented as w of t. So this is this one. This one is the output of the receiver filter. Output of the receiver filter. So now where are we in the block diagram? We are over here, y of t. Okay. Now this y of t is given to the sampler. So what does the sampler will do? That I will tell you. What does the sampler will do? It will take this y of t and it will give the sample values at every t seconds. First t second, second t second, third t second, fourth t second. It will give the sample values. So therefore, the sample values are represented by mt, 0t, 1t, 2t, 3t. At every t seconds, you are getting one sample of y. You are getting the sample of the filter output, or the filter output is sampled at every t seconds. So that is represented as y of mt. Means you are, in other words, you are evaluating this equation at every t seconds. Every t second, first t second, second t second, third t second, you are going to evaluate this particular equation. So therefore, that equation would be represented as, the sampler output would be represented as mt. What they have done, wherever t is there, you replace this with m into capital T. Okay, this is nothing but first sample. M refers to number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If m is equal to 1, that represents the first sample. If m is equal to 2, second sample. So y of mt is equal to, just observe, this was the equation. Wherever t is there, you replace it with mt. Okay, so x of mt, over it here it has been written. So this is the substitution. So now if you write this in other way means in a simpler way, this could be written as, this equation could be written as ym. What does this ym represents? It is the sample of the filter output at time t is equal to mt. I hope you are understanding. Or in other words, this is the sample of the this is the, or in other words, simpler way if you want to tell, it is the mth sample of the filter output. What you can say, what does y of ym represents? It is the mth sample of the filter output. So that could be written in this fashion: an x of m minus n plus wm. an x of m minus n plus wn. Okay, you have got this. So let me come again. So what is this? What are these? Because this slide is very important thing. I will again revise this slide in the tomorrow's class. But today, how much ever is possible, let us write. So we have got the y of t. What is this y of t? It is the output of the receiver filter. As per the block diagram, the output of the receiver filter should be sampled at every t seconds. So therefore, they have written this particular equation. Okay, so every t seconds, you are going to sample means this is how you are supposed to write the equation. So this equation is given a different form, that is ym an. Wherever x of mt minus nt is there, it has been represented as m minus n. W of mt as represented as this. So what does this represent? This represents the mth sample. Okay, t is equal to mt, you are taking the value of y. That is the meaning of this. So, or in other words, this is treated as mth sample output. Mth sample ym is equal to, this is the equation. So, we will stop over here and we will continue in the next class, where we will understand the concept of inter-symbol interference. Till now, I have given you the just block the signal flow. What happens when you start transmitting and when you are receiving the signal? What happened when you sampled the signal? So later we will analyze the concept, further analyze, we will analyze the concept of analyze the received signal, and we will conclude with the concept of inter-symbol interference, that we will take in the next class.